getting out of a rut, trying to live a more intentional life, breaking out of the matrix, if you will, whatever it is that you want to call it, it takes work.
Hi, welcome to Simply Intentional. My name is Katie. I'm on a journey to live my most fulfilling life and hopefully inspire others to do the same. Come along as I figure out my 30s one day at a time, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my adventures.
Oh, well, hello friends, welcome back. It is well into March now, and it is absolutely stunning here. Absolutely stunning. I've been feeling so good the last few days. I actually got into my garden, did some weeding. I've definitely neglected it and probably should have been out there a couple weeks ago, but it is what it is. I'm starting my seedlings inside and getting ready to just go through that whole process and feeling really hopeful. Spring is springing, as it were, and I am in love. I am in love with the seasons. I'm feeling really good and hopeful and optimistic, and just wanted to build on some ideas that we've been talking about the last few weeks. And so what I want to talk about today, which I find super interesting and is something that has been going through my mind a lot, is the idea of using discipline as joy, and the idea of how discipline can help us create the lives we want to lead, and how discipline is not scary and is something that we should all have in our tool belts. So come along with me for that today. Getting out of a rut, trying to live a more intentional life, breaking out of the matrix, if you will, whatever it is that you want to call it, it takes work, right? Leading these lives where we're connected and fulfilled and happy take work. It's not just going to fall into your lap. And as I said in the Lucky Girl Syndrome video, yes, you have to put it out there. I deserve good things. I'm worthy of good things. But you got to put in the work. And one of the great ways to do that is with discipline. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that I'm aware that discipline can be kind of intimidating. It can kind of have a bad rap in the self-care space. But I don't think it needs to be, and I don't think that discipline inherently means getting up at 5 a.m. every day and going to the gym for 4 hours and eating like The Rock and doing all this kind of stuff. I think discipline is simply the commitment to make the correct choices for yourself that you know that you need to be making. And sometimes that correct choice is a face mask and drinking wine by yourself and watching true crime. And sometimes it is going to the gym or moving your body in a way that brings you joy and meaning, and eating your vegetables and going to bed early. That's also discipline, and that's also self-care. And the thing is, discipline is going to look different for every person. I don't realistically get into my routines or things like that very often because it's not going to work for everyone. If you're interested in it, let me know in the comments. I don't think though that going out there and trying to model your life after someone else's is the best way to create what you want, to live intentionally, to define your own values, all those lovely things we talk about here. But I think that these concepts of joy, of discipline, of creating your own reality, these are concrete things that you can work with. A lot of this stuff is going to be tough at first, right? Because you are creating new habits, you are building trust with yourself, which is a super, super important part of this, and why I think discipline is important. Discipline is simply a tool that we all have access to build the life that we want. It is different from motivation, which I'm going to touch on in a little bit. All this concept that I work with, soft discipline, and so I'm not forcing myself to do anything, right? I have come to the conclusion that there are certain things in my life that I would like, and there are certain things in my life that I hold myself accountable to do because I know they're good for me, they're good for my spirit, they're good for my body, they're good for my community, all of those wonderful things. And that's what I use. So instead of maybe setting up a list and you're like, I'm going to go to the gym 6 times this week and I'm going to do X, Y, Z. What you can say is move that metric out farther. If you are looking at yourself every day and you're writing down all of these tasks every day, you're not a to-do list. Your journey to becoming more aligned with yourself, to living your best life is not a to-do list. It is a gift you are giving yourself. And so if you move out your metrics, say in a month I'm going to do all of these things, right? In a month it's easy to be a good friend. In a month it's easy to be a good worker, because we all have off days. There are going to be days when you don't want to go and grab coffee with your friend after work. But if you think about it on terms of a month and you move that scale out, then you're allowed to be a little bit softer with yourself. And another part of it is you have to be realistic. You have to start small. So instead of saying, I'm gonna go and do this 5 times a week, I'm gonna do this, do that, you really need to start somewhere simple. And if you are in a position where you are deeply struggling and you really need to build all these things and you have an idea of where you want to go, then start somewhere with, hey, at least 5 days this week, I'm gonna get out of bed and I'm gonna make my bed, right? And you're setting these small goals, you're setting these realistic things for yourself, and once that becomes a habit, then it's gonna feel easier. And then you have built that idea with yourself, as I get up and I do the things I told myself I'm gonna do. And you can start adding to that list, and you may find there are things that you add that don't work. And you can let those go, because this is for you. We're not living up to someone else's metrics. We are becoming disciplined with ourselves as a gift to ourselves to be the kind of person that we inherently know that we can be. And another thing that I want to touch on is the difference between motivation and discipline. I often get asked how I am motivated to do things all the time. And I'm not motivated all the time. There are certain days when I don't want to do something that I know is inherently good for me, but because I have built that trust with myself, I have the discipline to go and do it. And this is how I like to look at motivation versus discipline. Motivation is when you recognize that there's an area that you would like to grow or improve or build a skill emotionally, or be it a hobby, whatever it is. You have the motivation to do it, so you're identifying the problem. This is where you identify the issue. And then you start to do something, you become disciplined, and you build a habit, and this is where you work the problem. And that is where that bridge is the important piece. And the discipline helps you create the habits that then become second nature. I get up and I make my bed every day because it's a habit that I have. Did I always have that habit? Absolutely not. And I don't look at it as I'm making my bed because I'm supposed to. I like to frame things when I'm doing them as the reason why I'm doing it is for me. I get up every morning and I make my bed because I like having a clean space. Psychologically, it benefits me quite a bit. And having that, my bedroom be tidy, my laundry in the laundry basket, and my bed made just makes it a much more serene space that I can then exist in. And I like getting into a made bed with like nicely crisp sheets. It feels better for me. I'm not saying you have to make your bed. If you don't care, then don't make your bed. I would give it a shot because it just is that psychological benefit of completing a task first thing and knowing that you have a serene space to return to at the end of your day. But that's a whole different thing. If you can look at the things that you have to do or that you want to do and frame them in a way that you're doing it for yourself, and to go back to an Alan Watts idea, because you know I love my boy Alan, look at it as play. Look at everything that you do as play, as opposed to trudging through your life, completing a series of tasks because they're laid out for you, or because, you know, my old favorite, you should. Look at it as an act that you're doing for yourself, as a gift you're giving yourself, because you know inherently it brings you joy. And I know this is something that people can struggle with, because discipline, again, has a bad rap. You just think of people like chugging pre-workout at 3 a.m. to go and do someone else's workout schedule, or they're going for 5K runs in the morning, or they're eating kale for breakfast because that's what someone else does. And you can definitely try those things, try them out and see if you like them, and if you do, great, and if you don't, don't. But try and build things that you know that you're gonna love. I don't go running because I hate running. I have crappy ankles from dancing and platform shoes in the 90s, heyo, and I don't like running. It hurts my ankles, it's just gross and sweaty. I'd rather go for a bike ride, I'd rather go to the gym and use something that has like less impact on my joints. Absolutely love doing yoga, do yoga every single day. So I don't try and build in runnings. I'm not gonna get up at 4 a.m. and go for a run in the rain. I know that about myself. I'm not trying to set myself up for failure. And the same reason I don't get up in the morning and drink smoothies. I don't like cold food first thing in the morning. It's unhappy for my tummy. And this is what you need to understand, is you're gonna try things out, they're gonna fail, you're not gonna like them. I don't wanna say fail, that's incorrect. You're gonna try things out and they're not gonna work for you, for your lifestyle, for your needs, for the joy you wanna have in your life. And that's okay, you can let them go. Just accept that wasn't for you and try something else. And that is a skill I think a lot of us need to learn, because it's okay to try something and not like it. It's okay to let it go. And that's a topic I'm gonna build on in a couple weeks, is this idea of like letting go of things that are ending, of embracing endings and understanding that because something ended doesn't mean it was a failure. You are going to go through seasons in your life where you do and like and experience different things. And that is fine, and you can still view yourself as a disciplined person who is attempting to live their most fulfilling life and still let go of things that don't serve you. And I would argue that that is actually a more important skill than building discipline itself. Another key aspect of this is discipline versus self-care. I know that we've heard so much about self-care and, oh, cancel plans if you don't feel like going, and do a face mask and buy yourself the stuff you want to love because it's self-care. And that's absolutely fine when it is, but we need to, one, differentiate between self-care and self-indulgence, because a lot of the time that self-care is actually self-indulgence and you are simply trying to soothe or mask something that you need to deal with. And so examine your motivations. Like, I'm all for a good Saturday night face mask watching True Crime by yourself. Love it. But there's also times that I know that I should go out and socialize even if I don't feel like it, and I need to be accountable to my friends and not constantly cancel on them at the last minute, because that's rude. It's rude. If it's genuinely like you do not have the capacity, then be honest with your friends and say that, and I'm sure most of them will understand. But when we view discipline as a form of self-care, when we understand that we do need to have routines because our little monkey brains like them, and we understand that we deserve to take care of ourselves in all the myriad of ways that is, and sometimes that is eating your veggies and going to bed early. We need to understand that that's important, and that this discipline is in itself a form of self-care. You are loving yourself enough to take care of yourself because you fundamentally understand that you deserve it. And so that's what I hope you take away from this. I hope that you stop fighting yourself, and I hope that you understand that you are someone that you can count on. You are someone that deserves being taken care of by yourself, and you're someone that deserves to surround yourselves with the kind of people that also do these things and that are also wanting to build themselves up, build community up, and live authentically and escape these self-imposed ideas of what we ought to be doing, and be disciplined enough to love yourself unconditionally. And that doesn't mean not taking care of yourself, because your flesh vehicle has certain requirements that you need to tend to. I'm excited to continue on this journey with you. I feel like I'm really getting somewhere with this, because as I said many times before, like, this is me working through a lot of these ideas, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, anecdotally, yesterday I had what was absolutely a glorious day. I was working. It was Thursday. I was working from home, did all kinds of stuff, but it was so comfortable in my home. I felt good. I had meditated. I had done all my little morning routine that I like to do, and I was sitting in my home that I had intentionally chosen the pieces in that was comfortable and safe and wonderful. And I made myself a nice breakfast, and then after work I went for a walk and I did yoga, and it was just a beautiful day full of things that I love. And I hope that you go on your own journey and are able to fill a day with things that you love and have a blissful moment doing the most mundane tasks, because I think that is where we will find the greatest happiness. As I said before, look at all the things that you need to do and see them as play. Alright, my lovely human beings that come along here with me, that is what I have for you this week. I will not have a video up next week. I am going to visit my friend and we'll be having a good time and probably just like eating cheese and drinking wine and watching Nicolas Cage movies because that's what we decided we wanted to do with our long weekend together. But I will hopefully catch you in 2 weeks, and there are other videos in my series that you can go and check out. You can come and check me out on Instagram, YouTube. This is YouTube. You can check me out on Instagram or TikTok. Heyo. And yeah, leave a comment down below if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if there's an idea you think I should build on. Yeah, but as always, thank you for watching this to the end. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will catch you next time.